Kenya yasonga mbele, Kenya yasonga mbele, Kenya yasonga mbele, Kenya yetu Kenya yasonga mbele.
Welcome to Focus Kenya. On this show today, we'll be visiting the Kenya Revenue Authority to bring to your attention everything you need to know about the authority and its services. I'll be your host, Diana Ojenda. Kindly follow me as I meet up with the representatives. How are you doing today, Monica?
I'm fine, thank you.
How many branches do you have across the nation?
3.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
Nation or Nairobi? Nairobi we have Times Tower.
Okay.
East and south of Nairobi, that is Samia Business Park.
Yeah.
Then in Upper Hill we have west of Nairobi. But everywhere, the other branches are everywhere. So we have some in Kitale, Kiambu, in all the counties.
Oh, nice. I actually didn't know you had a branch in Samia Park, Mombasa Road. It's today that I've actually seen it.
It's a fairly new branch. I think it was opened around 2015.
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong. So it's not a very old branch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what are the services that are run here? Are they the same services that are run here, same as the one at the headquarters?
Yes, all our services are replicated.
Okay.
So if you visit any of our offices, we call it a tax service office, you're going to get all the services, the same services.
Thank you for having me and my team at the Kenya Revenue Authority premises. I actually didn't know you had you had offices at the Samia Park building along Mombasa Road, and it's a pleasure to be here.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Kindly introduce yourself to our viewers.
Okay, my name is Monica Giduba. I work in KRA in the Domestic Taxes Department in a division known as Taxpayer Services.
Oh, okay, nice. Now, when Kenyans hear about Kenya Revenue Authority, the thing that actually comes to mind is that Kenya Revenue Authority are people that will be harassing them about their taxes, about them filing their returns. What would you say KRA is all about?
So KRA is an agency authority set up to collect revenue within Kenya. Yeah. It's governed by certain tax laws, for example, the income tax laws, the VAT Act, and so we've gone through a transformation journey that has seen a change of attitude among us. So now we are mostly trusting and facilitating our taxpayers. So the experiences people used to have before are not now relevant because we have transformed and we now offer our services to our customers. We don't even view them as taxpayers. We view them as our customers.
Okay, so for the person who is at the machinani level, are you able to educate them on the services that you have for KRA?
Yes, we are, because now we've set up offices countrywide. So you find in Kiambu, Kitale, Isiolo, we have an office. And also in all Huduma centers, you're going to find there's a KRA person who is able to facilitate any taxpayer who needs any support. We're also available via call center. We are on Facebook, WhatsApp, Facebook mostly, and other online platforms where we can be able to communicate with our taxpayers.
Awesome. Yeah. So would you mind telling us what a KRA PIN is and why it is important that every other Kenyan citizen should acquire one?
So a KRA PIN is a personal identification number.
Yeah.
This is a number that a taxpayer acquires when they register on iTax. iTax is an online platform that allows you to register with KRA and engage. A PIN is important because when you want to engage, either as a business person, you want to get employed, you want a tender, you will need a PIN number. Even application for help, opening a bank account, you will need to have a PIN number, and so you find that this is a very important number for most Kenyans to have as they grow up and engage in the economy.
So in the case of, for example, I don't have an income and I want to acquire a higher education loan, and the KRA as per the KRA laws, I get to understand that this person that is actually applying for the same for this loan is supposed to file a tax return, yet they don't have an income. What would you say about that, or how would you advise this person?
So when you get a PIN number for any purposes, be it help, be it opening an account, there's a requirement that you file a return.
Okay.
And what a return is your communication with KRA, saying that for this tax period, this is my income or this is my expenditure and this is the tax due from me. So in case your income is nil, you need to communicate that.
Okay.
Failure to do that will mean that you will get penalized. So it's important for even the student who got a PIN number just for help to file the return on or before 30th of June and declare nil income. And that's what we call a nil return.
Okay, so I understand that it is mandatory to apply for the tax return on every year on the 30th June.
Yes, and that is 6 months after the end of the accounting period or the year. So our year ends in December for individuals. Companies can have a different accounting period if they so choose. But for individuals, our year runs from January to December. So on or before 30th of June, you must declare your income for the previous year. And you do that by filing your return. Yes.
So in this case, now let me take you back to now the person who is in the village, uko mashinani. Huyu mtu ana hiyo education that they're supposed to file for the tax on the 30th of June 2020. And they get penalized, because I heard you talking about someone being penalized. And even someone who is in Nairobi, there's that fear of KRA will penalize me like a huge amount of money. They don't know the stipulated time frames. They don't know how much money as an individual or as a company they will be taxed. So can you kindly enlighten us on that?
So what we do is we offer education.
Okay.
We have online education seminars now because of COVID, but also you find that any KRA office that is near you can facilitate the filing of your return.
Okay.
So in case you don't know, you're not maybe techie savvy, and you need help, you can walk into any of our offices and we'll be able to file this return for you.
Okay.
Remember, the return for 2020 is under to a filing in 2021. So you have so much time. You have from January to June to file the return for the previous year. So avoid the last minute rush. Just go early enough. You'll be facilitated, you'll be helped, and you'll file your return on time.
So if I'm to walk into any KRA office and I meet a KRA representative, would I be asked to pay any amount of money?
No, you will. Our services are free.
They're free.
Yes, our services are free. And when you walk in, they might ask you to provide documentation. Because remember, we are saying that you're filing a return, you're assessing yourself. So if you say, for example, I'm in employment, you will be required to give us your P9, which is just a summary of the tax that has been deducted from you. This helps us file your return. If you're maybe a student, we might require you to give us a bit of evidence that you're a student. So be aware that there will be some documentation that will be required from you, but you'll not be charged for the services we offer.
Okay. So in terms of, let me take you back a little bit. In terms of someone being penalized, there's the actual amount that someone needs to pay, either as an individual or as a company. There's that stipulated amount of money. What would you say? Can you kindly tell us how much it is?
Yeah, so the penalty for not filing returns for individuals is 2,000 and for companies it's 20,000. Also, if you have a liability that you've not paid, you get a late payment penalty of 5% and interest of 1% per month. So it's key that our taxpayers know you need to file your return as long as you have a PIN number. And a return just says, for this year, this is my income and this is the tax due from me. And KRA will be very satisfied with you as our taxpayer.
Apart from being penalized, how else can failure to file a tax return be damaging to a taxpayer?
So KRA also issues tax compliance certificate, and a tax compliance certificate is a document that shows you've been filing and paying your taxes on time. And you find that this TCC, or as we call it, is required in terms of tenders, when you're looking for employment, when you want to engage with certain bodies. So you find that if you don't have this TCC because you failed to file, then you're going to lose out on this job opportunity or the tendering process. Yeah.
Okay, now in the case of I'm employed, and I find that my employer actually from my salary he deducts the payee, and from the KRA system it doesn't reflect. What caution would you ask me to take as a taxpayer?
So if Pay-as-you-earn is a method of collecting taxes from employment income. This tax is collected by your employer and remitted on your behalf. So if you have information that your employer has deducted this tax and not remitted, you can provide that information to any KRA office that is near you, and will follow up with your employer and demand that they remit that tax plus any late payment penalties and interest.
So the penalties that maybe would have been incurred by that moment, am I the one who is supposed to pay, or is my employer the one who is supposed to incur those charges?
So because this is an agency tax, the employer is the one who's supposed to collect and remit. When he fails to do that, the penalties and interest are collected from him. So you just provide the information, and we'll be the one to follow our agent and collect the taxes from them.
Okay, and mimi najipata kama the employee, I'm being asked to file this tax return in the command of the pay-as-you-earn. Then on the other hand, my employer has done the same thing. Is it not a repetitive kind of gesture?
No, it's not. And this is because when the employer deducts the pay-as-you-earn and remits, it becomes a credit on your iTax ledger. So for every credit needs a debit. When you file your return, you give us your debit. And ideally, if employment income is your only source of income, then your figure at the bottom should be zero. That means there's no tax that is due from you, but you have done your part in communicating to KRA that this is my income. And also, if you have other sources of income, for example, you can be in employment and also have business income, a side hustle. These are separated sources of income. So you're also supposed to account for taxes on the business income. Filing a return allows you to declare all your sources of income. The income from the employment already accounted for, just a balancing act. Then when we come to the other sources of income, you remit and pay the taxes that are due from them.
Okay. So in this case that I have, like you've actually highlighted, you've said that I can be employed and yet have a side hustle. Then I actually did this TCC, and I go, for example, maybe to acquire a loan or maybe do one transaction or the other. Would I still be asked to get the TCC?
So the tax compliance certificate is valid for 12 months. So that means that after that, you would have to get another one. And you said that the only requirement for a TCC is that you've been filing your returns on time and also paying on time. But also where you're unable to pay and you're on a payment plan and you're fulfilling the payment plan as you had agreed, then you still get your TCC.
That payment plan in terms of me being employed rather than me having the side hustle? Or
okay, you see, for the employment income, that is already deducted by your employer. But let's say you have a business and you have a tax liability of, let's say, 50,000. You're not able to pay it. You can request for a payment plan via your iTax profile. When you request, the officers will engage you, determine your ability to pay, and give you a payment plan, for example, for 3 months, 2 months, where you now be able to clear your balance. So when you apply for the TCC, the system will query and will not issue you the TCC immediately. But when you go to your tax service office and tell them, I'm already on this payment plan, then they'll issue you with the TCC that you need. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Now I want us to get back to filing taxes. As we actually talked it earlier, that we're supposed to file our taxes by the 30th June. Who is eligible to file those taxes? And if so, how many people have filed for that tax in the previous year, the year ended 2020?
So last year, we had about 4.4 million Kenyans filing their income tax returns on iTax. We expect the number to grow because, of course, more people are more aware, and we also have more taxpayers who've registered on iTax. So another key thing is that when you have a PIN number, you find you get tax obligations. We have the default for individuals, that is income tax individual, and so every PIN holder must file a return, depending on the obligations that you have. If you have a business, you find you will have other obligations. For example, you might have PSU1 if you're an employer, you might have TUT or turnover tax. You need to know, these are the obligations that I have. There must be a return that is required from me. What is the due date of this return? So again, analyze yourself and ask yourself, what is my source of income? If it's employment, then that is accounted for under the pay as you earn, and all I need to do is file my return by 30th of June. But if I have a business, I have to ask myself, what type of business is this, and how do I now pay the taxes? Do I pay them monthly or however the tax rate?
Okay, so in short, what you're trying to say is that there is a monthly payment for tax, and there's the yearly, the one that comes yearly. So if one is doing a business actually, can I be remitting my taxes every month? Is it advisable?
So for businesses, we have a system known as turnover tax. So the turnover tax system allows you to file for your taxes on a monthly basis, and tax is at 1% of your gross sales. So that suits a business person who has a turnover of between 1 million and 15 million per annum.
Now, in this case, now that you've actually talked about the monthly filing system, and we actually know that the coronavirus came to interfere with a lot of businesses and the people being employed and individuals, and maybe I've been remitting my monthly taxes to the letter, but this actual maybe like 3 months while the pandemic was a little bit on the crazy side. Would you say, what would you advise someone who has been a defaulter for those 3 months, yet they want to be in the good books with KRA?
So first of all, the thing to remember is they said you must file a return. And a return is an accurate reflection of what is happening in your business. So for example, in a month, let's say you're in that turnover tax system, and in the month, your sales for that month is 0. You declare that by filing your nil return. Tax on the nil is still 0. You see? So you have complied with your part, you've given us the accurate information, and it's within your right to do that. So the issue comes in now when you have not filed. The system will penalize you. So that's when now we say you did not file, you've been penalized, and you need to pay some penalties. So avoid all that by making sure that you file all the returns that are due. And in case you did not file today. You can file any return that you have not filed, even as we speak.
Any day, any time?
Any day, any time, as long as it's a return that is passed. So just file, you will get the penalties, but then you can deal with that via your tax service office.
Nice, awesome. Mimi kama individual, sina income na nafaa kufile the return nil. Nafaa kufanya aje? How do I go about it?
So to file a return, you log on to iTax. iTax is, as you said, is our online system that allows the taxpayer to engage with us. So when you log into your iTax, you get a PIN and a password from your email, log in, go to return. And then under return, you're going to find file new return. All you need to do is click a button. We also have an app called M-Service. The M-Service app is available on Google Play. And this app is developed for our taxpayers to make it easy for them to pay their taxes and file on time. So you can use this app to file your new returns in case you need to do that.
Okay. This exercise, can I do it on my own, or do I have to engage a KRA representative to do it on my behalf?
No, you don't need somebody to do it. All you need to do is get your PIN and password. Log in and you'll be able to register. The problem comes in now, maybe somebody has forgotten the email address that they gave. So you find they don't have the password, they've forgotten their PIN number. So then that's when you need the assistance of a KRA officer. But you can do it by yourself, and also it can be done by anyone who can access the online systems. Yeah.
Sasa Monica, niulize swali. Nikiwa na remit my tax as usual and nikuwe nime default, utani encourage nilipe hiyo the defaulters fee kivipi? Ninaweza lipa cash, kuna malipo ya M-Pesa, kuna bank overdraft, utaniwezesha nijue kulipa aje?
Sasa to pay these taxes lazima pia ulogin kwa iTax profile yako. Again tumesema utumie PIN na password. Ukishaingia utapata payment registration. Under payment registration utapata tax head, uchague income tax, alafu upate kuna penalty, uchague penalty, na system inavuruta sasa kutoka kwa ledger yako. Inaweka amount hapo. Una submit, lakini huwezi lipa cash unless ulipe via bank ama M-Pesa pia.
Na kuna mtu pale hivyo mashinani anaweza uliza kama anaweza lipa na installments. Kuna uwezekano wa kulipa na installments?
Sasa tumesema kuna payment plan. Unaruhusiwa kuwa na payment plan na itapewa depending on ability to pay. Lakini pia kuna threshold fulani. Hatuwezi pea payment plan kwa amounts kidogo sana. Kwa hivyo payment plan mostly zinapewa mtu ako na biashara na mtu ako na hana uwezo ya kulipa. So mostly you have a right to apply for this payment plan, but of course there are factors that will be considered before it's granted.
The exercise, can it be done online with in case of that someone who cannot be able to pay for that amount? Anaifanya online ama anakuja pale KRA?
So kuna kwa online under your iTax profile again, there's request for a payment plan. So you make the requests hapo kwa iTax profile yako. But mostly it's on the principal tax, meaning mostly mwana biashara mwenye kona tax yenye imetoka kwa biashara yake ameshindwa kulipa. So remember hata ukiapply, it's mostly for those people who are in business. They are going to be asked to provide some records to determine their ability to pay, and they'll be put on a payment plan that suits their business.
Okay, and now that nimepenaliziwa and I've been able to pay for the penalty, but I ended up overpaying for the charges. Can I get, would the KRA give me a refund, or what actually happens to my money that I've remitted?
So in terms of payment for penalties, you will not be able to overpay, because tumesema you're going to go under payment registration, choose the tax head, the penalties that you want to pay. The system already has the penalty. So if it's 2,000, that's what you're going to pay. And also the payment registration number itaonyesha hivyo. But then there are times you find that uko na overpayment due to maybe employer yako using a wrong tax rate. They've made a mistake. Maybe you have some reliefs hawajakupea, maybe insurance or mortgage, they've not given you. So you find at the end of the year una file your return and you're in a refund position. When you get a refund, you need to make an application, again via your iTax profile. You click on that refund, submit the application. It will go through a process of checking, because then hatuwezi refund pesa without due diligence. So we have to request you for documents, which will mostly be the P9, which is a summary of what your employer has deducted, any certificates that you have. We'll process it and refund you any taxes that you've overpaid. Yeah.
We celebrate.